Welcome to the WMAR Vault. I'm Jamie Costello. Here at WMAR, we're celebrating 75 years on the air. We were the first TV station in Maryland, and now we're setting our sights on the future and streaming. So we're going to be mixing up the old and the new, opening up the WMAR Vault and dusting off 16 million feet of archive footage. That's enough to get us from Baltimore to Los Angeles and still have nearly 400 miles left over. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the WMAR Vault.
It all begins here at this outdoor kitchen.
You got it, babe? I got it.
With nearly a ton of yams and potatoes, 1,000 pounds of dressing and beans, 700 pies and cakes, and 1,400 turkeys. And of course, lots of volunteers.
Give him a hand. He's organizing another line, okay? Thank you. Hi, what's your name? Bob. Mark, how are you? Want to work? Sure.
Nearly 400 of them, all here for different reasons.
They won't let me carve at home, so I have to come here to carve.
This is to feed nearly 10,000 people, hungry people who can't afford a Thanksgiving Day feast. And to make sure families have something to eat after Thanksgiving, a bag of canned goods and staples.
Anybody need a bag? One bag per family right now.
A blessing for people like Dorlee Stinnett, who's out of work, pregnant, and has a young son.
Help out for me and my child, because we don't have no food and stuff like that. At least I did come around here before we could eat, try to get some food for the house and stuff.
Even though it's not enough to keep her family fed for the week, it's a start, and that's the goal of this annual dinner. A dinner organized by Bea Gaddy, a woman once hungry and homeless herself.
Hunger hurts. I've seen the advertisement, but I can tell you for real, it's a sad thing to go to bed hungry or walk around during the day hungry. As long as I live, I will continue to try to muster enough food to feed every person.
Well, Rick, Towson's done it again. How many years have you been involved with this marathon?
This was my fourth year, Susan.
Do you feel that this marathon was as successful as others?
No, I don't think it was. We had a lot better weather, and we had a lot more teams, a lot more player support, but we didn't have the fan support that we expected.
Do those that come out to watch the games participate? I mean, do they actually contribute to Santa Claus Anonymous?
The people who did come out did contribute, but we didn't have enough. We had a lot of college students, but we didn't have enough adults come out. We didn't have the people with the money that came out in the past years.
How much money has been given during the marathon games in the past?
In the past, we've always been able to break even and pull in at least $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 overhead. This year, I think we're just going to about break even.
Do you think that even though this marathon proves not to be a financial success, that you will continue and do it again next year?
Most definitely. I think we'll keep it on. It is an annual game. We do hope to continue it each year. I think that next year we will definitely continue the game. I think the boys have the spirit, the schools, the interest is still high enough to keep it going.
Do you think, in addition to earning money for Santa Claus Anonymous, it's good to have this kind of college rivalry each year?
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. When we first got together back when I was a freshman, we decided that we wanted to play football for 72 hours. And then we decided, well, we'd give our money to Santa Claus Anonymous. So actually, our first purpose was just to play football. Our second purpose was to raise money for the charity. So if we break even, we've accomplished our goal.
Trip to the Civic Center as thousands of young and older Circus fans crowded in for a 10 a.m. performance of a show that, if not the greatest on earth, is still awfully good. It featured a glamorous and barrel-voiced master of ceremonies and a cast of 1,000 clowns, acrobats, aerialists, bears, camels, and poodles dressed as showgirls. And while as the reporter there I could offer such non-essential non-clarification as the word that the paint you see is really whipped cream, I expect I can be more useful by enjoying the show and letting the other children there tell you why they enjoyed it.
I like all of it. I like when they was jumping in that thing, when that clown was in there. That was a whole bunch of stuff. I like that, and the elephants and all of it. I like all of it.
How about you?
I like all of it. The ladies and all that.
You like the ladies?
Yeah.
How about you? What did you like?
Probably the flips and all.
I like it all.
The clowns?
Yeah.
The trapeze?
Yes.
The animals?
Yes. I like the girls.
On the trapeze?
Yeah.
Would you like to do that sometime?
Yeah. I like the elephant.
You like the elephants best? How come?
Because they're good.
What do you like best about the circus?
When it slide down.
Are you sure it's not the popcorn you like best? The show is organized by the Bhumi Temple Shriners, and it benefits and entertains thousands of poor and handicapped children. There will be shows each day this week, and tickets are still available. I'm Andy Barth, on the scene at the circus.
The year 1959, the place Memorial Stadium. The event, the annual clash between Baltimore Polytechnic and Baltimore City College. A high school football game that attracted the fans and enthusiasm of a Super Bowl. These were the heydays of the Poly City Thanksgiving game, a game that has had some hard times surviving in the recent past. For example, last year, only the JV teams played because City had been closed for renovations. But this year, the varsity teams are once again scheduled to meet at 2 o'clock at the stadium, and the excitement is once again in the air. Poly was turning its team upside down today, getting up for the game.
I'm really getting up for this game because I know a lot of my relatives and things are going to be there, and even though we won the MSA championship, I really enjoy playing, and since this is our last game as a senior, I think I'm getting up for this game.
So this will be your first chance and maybe your last chance to play in Memorial Stadium.
That's right, yeah.
But as young as the City team is, they are not going to the stadium tomorrow to cry uncle. Quarterback Stephen Young.
I would say that, we're enthusiastic about the game and we're ready to play. We're going to go out and give it 100%.
Some traditions die hard, especially those which are kept alive by enthusiastic youth, such is the case of the Poly City football game. I'm Susan White Bowden on the scene.
Very early this morning, around 6:30, football fans began gathering together for the 24th annual Sour Hour at the home of Loyola grad Class of 57 Jack Call. The group says this is the way they get ready for the game. Actually, their preparations began last night at alumni parties for both Calvert Hall and Loyola, which we're told ended only shortly before this one began. Graduates from Loyola, Calvert Hall, and a few other schools say fierce rivalries are buried for a good time.
I think this is an annual event that the camaraderie between the two schools of the former graduates all get together and kind of bury all the wounds and just have a good time and enjoy ourselves at the game.
Then game time, 10 o'clock. Fans on both sides of the stadium rev up, wearing the appropriate hats, shirts, jackets, and sounding off. Meanwhile, our partygoers were in the stands, still working hard.
Well, you'd think after a night of parties and a morning of parties and a football game that these guys would wind it up and go home to Thanksgiving dinner. But no.
From here, it's on to a favorite bar, and then more parties, and then home to dinner.
How do you survive it?
Survive it by experience and pacing.
I just stay away from my wife and mother-in-law.
There you have it. Tradition. Joyce Jefferson, News Scene 2.
It was the 61st meeting between Calvert Hall and Loyola. Cardinal defense dominated in the first half. They kept Loyola off the board and had a 9-0 halftime lead. In the third quarter, the Dons with a superb goal line stand right here. But on the very next play, they cough it up. A fumble right here, and watch number 11, Greg Tygan of the Cardinals, come up with it. Then on the next play, Paul Franzoni goes up top. It's complete to Johnson. He gets around the corner into the end zone. It's a 15-0 lead. The Dons get on the board right here. Dave Lagna takes the handoff, makes a good move, cuts back toward the middle and gets all the way down to the 5-yard line. Then on the next play, it was Kevin Boone in for the score. Watch this good driving touchdown run, 15-6, and it's good to get in that end zone after being shut out for most of the day. And Calvert Hall gets the final score of the game. Franzoni goes to Mark Kaufman. It's complete for a touchdown. The final 22-6 Calvert Hall. The Cardinals 8-2 on the year. Loyola 7-3. Running back Chris O'Boyle, a big day for the winners.
I think that we want a little more than they did. I think I've been hearing that they've been pretty cocky about, the game. They were almost positive that they were going to beat us. And we came out there, the underdogs, in fact, and pulled it through,
You had some pretty good holes to run through. I guess those guys in front of you were doing some work.
They were doing some job. I tell you one thing, I'm sore.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get home, I tell you that.
The turkey going to taste a little better after this?
Telling me.
In the day's second game, the 92-year-old rivalry between Pauley and City College was renewed. City is in the process of trying to rebuild their program, and it's apparent they have a long way to go. Pauley and Dark blew it open in the second quarter, went on to win 47-0. Pauley, the winner of the A-Conference title, looked like champions today. Kevin Hart on this run covers 48 yards for a score. It's been a year to remember for Coach Augie Weibel and the Engineers. Scott Garso on the prep football scene.
We're about to enter that time of year again when there seems to be no stop to shopping for children and family and friends. But don't let the shopping get you down. Stop and think about what you'd like for Christmas. That's what we did, and then we embellished on it a little bit.
Can you tell me what you want for Christmas? No, I really don't have any idea what I want. I have just about everything I need, really.
Now, that's not the way to play the game. It's not what you need, it's what you would want, or wish for, or dream about. Like this diamond and emerald ring from Feddings and Towson. All 15 diamonds and 12 emeralds could be yours for a mere $6,200.
And what do you want for Christmas?
Oh, how about a guy about 6'4", about 220 pounds? That'll be fine.
Now you're getting the hang of it. For this fantasy, we went to Sakowitz in Houston, where you can get a life-size mannequin of yourself or anybody else for $3,300. We hope you're not in a hurry. Sakowitz says to allow 1 year for delivery.
What would you like for Christmas?
Oh, a TV. A big baby doll. And a stereo set.
A stereo is so mundane. How much more elegant to get your music from this $10,000 Italian and Swiss music box on sale at Valley View Farms. If you don't like this selection, try another LP. Or in this case, an engraved, copper-plated record.
What would you like for Christmas?
A brand new Cadillac.
On a Maserati.
Oh, and a MGB or that or Porsche.
Would anyone complain if this 1981 Rolls-Royce rolled up the driveway Christmas morning? The car from Lee Oldsmobile in Glen Burnie only gets 10 miles to the gallon in the city. But if you can afford the $86,000 price tag, you wouldn't even have to worry about the gas mileage.
What would you like for Christmas?
Early retirement.
This is our favorite. We couldn't find a generous employer, but we did discover the Around the World in 80 Days cruise aboard the Queen Elizabeth. The Cunard Line would be happy to have you as their guest in the penthouse suite as the QE2 sails from New York on January 18th. Don't forget to bring along the fare, however, $225,000. Until then, it's back to shopping. We hear watches are in this year. And by the way, there are only 28 shopping days left. This is Joan Gartland on the consumer scene.
For an adult, walking through a toy store can be fun, but it can also be as confusing as doing your income taxes. So we decided to let the kids do the walking.
We took a group of Towson youngsters to a local toy store recently, gave them some of this year's most popular toys, and let them be the judge. 10-and-a-half-year-old Regina Boone tested LJN's electronic tic-tac-toe game. I took a lickin' from a chicken.
The sounds sort of get to you, and they sort of make you not want to play the game.
Gina also thought at $35, the chicken wasn't worth it.
I don't think you'd want to buy a game for that much. I don't think parents would buy that either, unless they were real rich.
What kind of child do you think would enjoy playing with that kind of game?
About 7 to 10 or something like that.
8-year-old David Holland played with Ideal's $15 Team America stunt cycle and almost immediately put it on his Christmas list.
Oh, I like spinning. I like the sound when you spin it. I like the way it goes when it takes off.
Do you think you'd get bored with it after a while?
No.
Why not?
Because it's fun. I like it.
Although the motorcycle rider sometimes falls apart on impact, David found it easy to put him back together again. Also, because the toy runs into things and needs a lot of space, David said he would probably only be able to play with it outside. The electronic game Simon by Milton Bradley wasn't as simple as 8.5-year-old Denise Dent thought it would be.
It was neat, but you think you're going to do it right, but then you turn out doing it wrong.
Does that make you want to keep playing or stop?
Well, I played for a while, and then I got a little bored. But I would like to play with it once in a while.
Denise said the flashing lights and sounds were fun, and the game taught her to concentrate on patterns. Overall, she thought it was worth the asking price of $24. 11-year-old Meg Bryant didn't like the highly popular strolling bowling game by Tommy. Mostly, she thought, because she was too old for it.
It was probably for a younger child than I am.
Why do you say that?
Because you had to try to knock the pins down.
All right, guys.
It was like regular bowling, except you had this little thing that jumped.
Did you think it was too easy?
Yes.
Meg thought the toy was more suited for a 4- to 6-year-old, but she also didn't think it was made very well and probably not worth its $4.50 cost. No matter how much money you have to spend, you should look for a toy that is suited to your child. Think, will he or she enjoy it? Will they learn something from it? And will the toy last as long as your child's interest? Tomorrow in part 3 of Shop Till You Drop, we'll look at toys for adults. This is Joan Gartland on The Consumer Scene.
A new candy is being sold at this Cross Keys shop. It's very different and very good, if you like the finest in German and Swiss chocolate with unusual creams and fillings. This candy by Albert Kirchmeier is also very expensive. It's being sold here for $29 a pound. But candy connoisseurs say that that is not expensive for handmade European candy of the finest quality. European candy made right here in Baltimore.
This is the good thing about here. I don't have to use any preservatives. It's all natural products and no artificial flavors or anything. And I don't have to worry about long shipment. It's actually a fresh candy made and you eat it.
But it is really European candy.
It is European candy, absolutely. I'm certainly trying to compete with the European market, not with the American market.
German-born Kirchmeier was a chef in Baltimore for 10 years. Wanting a change in his life, he went back to Europe, studied candy making, and now brings us some of what he learned there.
The shop I worked in Munich, we tried to get flower flavors, yasmin, and we experimented with a lot of different exotic products that are now on the market, and I'm trying to introduce this to Baltimore. I'm ready for Baltimore. I don't know if Baltimore is ready for me.
This chocolatier is also an artist, using the tools of this trade to create charming statues of chocolate for each season or special occasion. As with all of his equipment, he brought these molds from Germany. German molds that turn out some very American-looking Santas.
There are two manufacturers of molds, and they are coming out constantly with different ideas. They're going with the time. Santa Claus is starting to look a little different than they used to 20 years ago.
The eyes are so interesting.
Yeah, I think that gives them the character. Yeah. That makes it alive, you know.
If you're eyeing these Santas back and wondering about the price of them, they will sell for between $4.50 and $10, and you will see them in Cross Keys at the Inner Harbor and a shop on Reed Street. As for this candy maker, he works all alone in a little shop on North Charles Street, imagining the time when his European chocolate will be so popular in America that he will have dozens of well-trained assistants doing what he now does all by himself.
They came with babes in arms.
taking off the shelves, studying to find what aisle the next bargain is hiding. And the crowd that roared in the malls today are looking, and looking to save money. But are they?
Yeah. Yeah, we've
You're a little hesitant there.
Yeah, we have to look for the signs.
Signs? You want signs? 20% off. 3 for 1. Blowout sale. Super holiday sale. We mean business sale. And it ain't over till Santa sings sale. And for today and for store's sake, not for today only, people are buying. Bags are plenty and so are the lines.
Sometimes the stores, they are so busy that you buy something and then you can pay them because so many people there, then you have to be in an awfully big line to be able to pay for.
Each and every one of these booths are doing good business. Not only because they're unique, but because of their location. They are smack dab right in the middle of the mall for all to see. They call White Marsh Mall Stroller City, as mothers and fathers are now seeking out the perfect gift for the new kid on the block. Even though the little ones will have plenty to play with on Christmas, parents say they won't go overboard.
We've changed our goals in the family, and we're going to shoot for the year-long goal rather than the short-term one-day Christmas.
Stores say this morning started slowly but has picked up, and everyone at this point is optimistic that if sales are there along with correct sizes, shoppers vow to make this more than a one-day event. Jamie Costello, Channel 2 News.
For 75 years, WMAR has brought the news into your home. From film to video to tiny digital cards, over-the-air, cable, satellite, and now streaming. And we'll keep moving forward. And remember to look back at the stories and the moments that made us all here in Maryland. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of the WMAR Vault. We will see you next time. Hey, it's Jamie Costello. If you just enjoyed this episode of The Vault, you can check out more episodes by clicking on this box down here. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that circle, and that'll subscribe you to WMAR 2 News for great content every single day.